about time to start calling the Carolina Panthers a refugee camp. They will take on the downtrodden and abused of poorly run regimes and toppled empires. Their newest project? Why, it's none other than Sam Darnold, a man who was all but ruined by the New York Jets and their total incompetence the past few years. Will he be able to recover from this trauma? We don't know. The comparison you have to hope for is Ryan Tannehill, who once free from Adam Gase became a quality starter. I don't know how long this leash is going to be, though. Not with those rumors of Deshaun Watson flying around. This is a critical year for the Panthers' rebuild, and it may be time for them to start showing results. They had flashes of brilliance last year, but not enough to truly sustain themselves, particularly in goal line situations. I expect a lot more out of them this year. Good luck with that. The NFC is pretty tight in a lot of aspects. A logical person would just sit back and let it all develop, but I'm an impulsive bastard. I need to make shitty predictions that backfire quickly. The NFC East will surprisingly not change hands again, and it will be Washington that pulls it out. The NFC North is still Packers territory, however. The NFC South, I hate to say it, but Brady and the Buccaneers have it on lockdown. The NFC West, though? That's tough, but I'll have to say San Francisco bounces back if they're healthy. For the wildcards, I'm rolling with Seattle, New Orleans, and the Rams. Once again, many teams can be considered for these three slots. With that being said, I should shut the hell up. It's time for some fucking football. The only thing that's scarier than the prospect of the New York Jets ruining another top draft pick is witnessing whatever the fuck this CGI atrocity is. I feel like I've OD'd and this is the Reaper that's going to remove me from the bane of existence. That amalgamation can also be considered as the Jets' offensive line. Zach Wilson is going to die this season. He'll be eating all of his solids out of a straw by December for how often he was running for his life. Carolina didn't need to do much, but it was no contest. Sam Darnold gets his revenge against the team that ruined him. A hollow gesture, but he'll take what he can get. Anything to prove the doubters wrong. Well, if these past few weeks were any indication, Sam Darnold has been acclimating to his surroundings well. Saints, unfortunately, COVID isn't the only thing wrecking your coaching staff. It's Carolina's game plan stuffing your offense at every turn. It was as close to domination as a team can get. The only real blemish in the Panther game plan was the Sam Darnold special, where he executes a 10 IQ smooth brain maneuver and everyone wonders what the fuck he was thinking. Well, can't fault him that much for it. He had a good game regardless. Carolina may have won, but I need some way to get my stale meme fix. And I think I know how. Oh god, I miss that sound so much. Gave a shit about this game, you're a far braver soul than many or a glutton for punishment. Gauging by the attendance in the stands, I feel Houston had better things to do. Like play Russian roulette or walk across a freeway hoping to get run over. When the Texans are forced to start serial Empire Air Davis Mills for lack of a better option, I'd be the next in line to play IRL Frogger. Do you even want me to recap this shit? Okay, I'll do a sentence. The Texans didn't have any response to the Panther defense and lost because Sam Darnold wasn't tethered to coaching deadweight. I would have just had Houston forfeit the match, but the NFL needs to check a box off. Let's see the options. A shitty matinee game or a healthy Christian McCaffrey and JC Horn? I don't know, seems like a hard choice. Carolina's had an easy schedule to start out the year. It showed against Dallas. Panthers, you unfortunately have to face a team with things called offensive talent and shut down defensive play. As quickly as Dak Prescott can launch artillery fire across the field, Trevon Diggs will swoop in and pick off passes like a hawk grabbing baby ducks for its meal. That's about as cruel as it was. The Cowboys didn't even bother to chew and let you out of your misery. They swallowed them whole, to be digested slowly in a vat of acid. If that's as disgusting as it sounds, it's because it's accurate to how this game played out. No Christian McCaffrey and more does that to a team. Sam Darnold is much better this year, but he can't do it alone. It's the story of football. When the Cowboys are good, the world loses. This year, Dan Quinn is in a position to thrive overseeing the Dallas defense. It's a much better fit for his skills. Here I am thinking that the Panthers may be turning the corner for once. Here I am believing Sam Darnold was finally free from misery and torment. Here I am saying that this was going to be an easy win for the Panthers. It's the Eagles. They do nothing but trip on their own dicks and wonder why the fuck everything's gone to hell. Their offensive play calling has gotten so bad that some want Doug Peterson back. I don't blame them with more screens than a Best Buy most drives. Today, all of Charlotte is probably wondering if Darnold could work at a Best Buy. There were a lot of what the fuck moments from him with the Jets. Guess what happened? Oh yeah, the classic ghost seeing. By the whole team. If the Panthers have any semblance of offense, this isn't even close. Darnold's play and bad O-line work will fix that issue up well. Chicken shit play calling, penalties, blocked punts. Even the worst of NFL teams will make a group pay for those errors. When opposing defenses step up, congratulations, you're in the shit. The Panthers played not to lose and it bit them in the fucking ass. It gives me pleasure to see teams be defeated by that. I forgot the golden rule of modern football. Keep the foot on the fucking throat.
You blew it! You had it all and you blew it!
You want to know something? I thought the Carolina Panthers were going to make strides this season. Maybe not playoff contender, but I like some of the signs they were showing in terms of their team structure. These past few weeks, I have one question. How fucking useless are they without Christian McCaffrey? This offense has become straight up dog shit. Sam Darnold can't make a pass. His receivers can't make a catch. The offensive line blocks as well as McAfee antivirus. It just lets everything through. If the Panthers had any sort of offense, this game isn't even close. Minnesota isn't exactly good. They find unbelievable ways to lose football games. And with how they're allowing Carolina to stay in this match, it's not exactly a surprise why they're under 500 to start the year. But this is supposed to be a legitimate contender, am I right? Even with both teams being utterly useless and not worthy of the postseason, Carolina is managing to somehow not shit their pants on offense anymore. Most stunning, despite everything they've done to kill themselves, the Panthers are somehow still alive. Behold the game-tying touchdown and two-point conversion. Vikings fans quietly cheer this fortune, as it might mean the handicap of Mike Zimmer may finally be gone. Unfortunately for them, Brian Burns is somehow too fast to tackle anyone and they're in field goal range. They can put the dagger in the Panthers' throat. Remember last week against Detroit?
This is for the win. From the right hash. Joseph from 47. It is wide to the right.
That was an aberration. If Minnesota is going to beat Carolina, they'll have to do it without special teams. Conveniently, they were delivered a quick win off Amazon Prime. Good times were had by none. Minnesota gets to pretend they don't suck and Carolina just sucks. Mike Zimmer becomes Mike Myers and will not die. Can we just give both teams a loss for this game? Any shred of hope that Carolina Panthers fans had at the start of the season is officially gone. These past 3 weeks have confirmed that it was all a mirage. Sam Darnold's salvation from the Jets, any semblance of a running game without CMC, the stout team defense when given time to breathe. All as fraudulent as Enron's financial statements. This offense is so bad. I have no idea how this team manages to take a piss standing up. Knowing how this team plays, it all end up on the fucking floor. Would you rather me regale you that all of the Giants' talent is injured to shit? The best receiver on either team is Danny Derps. There were those of us that thought Darnold would do better this season. I was one of them. With his benching for PJ Walker, I look like a fucking idiot. Yes, I know that's near weekly. Let me pretend that I have some semblance of intelligence. Maybe the Panthers might have some left after 4 straight terrible losses. Their fans are so desperate they're pleading for the gimp's shoulder of Cam Newton. That's when you know things are bad. For the Carolina Panthers to win football games, they'll have to do it by means of defense. It's been proven over the past month that the Panthers are absolute trash without Christian McCaffrey to carry the load. The fortunate thing is that they are playing Atlanta. Everyone in that city is distracted by the Braves on the cusp of winning a World Series. Hey Falcons, look over there! The Panthers repeated that same game plan for 60 minutes. The offense still isn't doing shit, but Atlanta fell apart in the standard Atlanta ways. They gave their power to the baseball team to avenge them. I appreciate the giving spirit, but it's not good for winning football games, you know? Matt Ryan looked really damn out of sorts today. And with this loss, there goes any false hope Atlanta had. At least you have a good baseball team. Bill Belichick heard all of the narratives. He's washed. He fell off. He's nothing without Tom Brady. The Patriots are done. A good chunk of the NFL media and fan world ratioed him to hell and back over the past year. But he will have the last laugh. No matter what happens, you never doubt the hoodie's dark magic. The Carolina Panthers may be bringing Christian McCaffrey back from injury, but he will be neutralized by an increasingly stout New England defense. Nothing makes Belichick smile with more glee than seeing Sam Darnold in his sights. It doesn't matter if he's no longer in division, he will make him see ghosts. The Patriots will give the entire Carolina squad fits. An easy victory is their reward for efficient, and some say dirty play, but don't look too closely. Or else you'll see that New England can almost taste the division lead. Just like episode 9, the Emperor will not die. We didn't kill him hard enough. Times are tough in Charlotte. The Carolina Panthers have stumbled from the insane heights of 3-0 and are now in the shit. Sam Darnold seems to have decided that good quarterback play was overrated and went off a chasm. Fucker can't even complete an injury these days. He'll be seeing the ghosts of draft busts past when this is all said and done. With PJ Walker being unimpressive in his brief stint, Carolina is staring down the barrel of a lost season. This rebuild's axle has been broken. If only something could save them from this horrible fate. Look to the skies, Panthers! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Super Cam! Fresh off a flight from New England to save Carolina from dealing with nameless QBs. His shoulder may be completely fucked and the move reeks of fan service to try and get people into the stadium as a way to increase revenue, but this is a way to make things right. A chance for a city to say goodbye to the best quarterback their franchise has ever had. Newton does nothing about the position in the future, but I'll let people enjoy things for once, even if it leads to their doom. Despite the cynicism for the return of Cam Newton, we get a throwback to a certain game in 2015. The NFC Championship game where the Panthers blew the fuck out of the Cardinals to lose to Peyton Manning's withered corpse. There was some good luck that came their way. Kyler and DeAndre are out again. And we learned that Colt McCoy is indeed Colt McCoy. Shit went to hell in a handbasket for Arizona quickly. The game was ugly and got uglier. The Panther defense chose to put on a clinic for a Kyler-less Cardinal team and put their season back on the damn road. I'll give Arizona the benefit of the doubt since they were undermanned again, but the Panthers aren't exactly elite competition. And at this point in time, Carolina now holds a playoff spot in the NFC. Because everything is fucked and nothing matters in 2021. I guess it's better than Atlanta, but still. The only way we can close out this game is with the immortal words of Cam. Life is returning to normal for Panthers fans. Super Cam has come home. It felt weird seeing him in a Patriots uniform. It's a chance to correct a past mistake. And he's rejuvenated not only a city, but perhaps an entire league. This also signals Riverboat Ron's return to Carolina after being fired, but no one gives a shit about that. This day is about Cam Newton and Cam Newton alone. Yes, the game may be neck and neck, but the Panthers are playing competitive. And they're doing everything they can against Washington. Unfortunately, the problem for them was in another former Carolina Panther, Taylor Heineken. He balled out in what could be considered his grudge game. He had played them in 2020, but he was a substitute in garbage time. Now he's playing out of his goddamn mind. He's led the redacted to a 3-point lead, and the defense will do the rest. Be baffled at the Panthers going for it on 4th down at their own 30, but it was an outstanding play to keep McCaffrey away from the chains. It's enough for Washington to play spoiler. Cam Newton's glorious return is a piss parade. The football team survives an onslaught as Riverboat Ron gets the last laugh. Not that it's going to get any easier, but the NFC is really wide open. Does everyone remember when Miami was this close to trading away Tua Tagovailoa because he apparently sucked or something? After games like this, balking on the Deshaun trade looks wise. The Dolphins may have a steep uphill battle to make it back to relevance, but they are riding a 4-game winning streak. And a good deal of it is thanks to outstanding defense and to a strong performance against one of the better pass defenses in the league. It was a statement for Miami, and I simply hope it isn't too late for them to salvage anything on the year. On the other end, for Carolina and Cam Newton, it was pure depression. Today we all remembered cold realities. Their offensive line is broken and Cam's shoulder is fucked. With Super Cam putting up incredible stats like going 5 for 21, 2 interceptions, and a 5.5 QBR, is it any surprise that he was benched in the 4th quarter? I'm watching a career fade to nothing. The reasons why New England chose Mac over him in August are on full display. This Panther was poached, and it's a slow death when you're visibly wounded in the jungle. Both these teams are absolute garbage and don't deserve any shot at the playoffs, but this season is about prolonging agony. One of these teams must unfortunately win, because tying is impossible unless you're the Lions or Steelers. Jobbing to the heavyweight contender in Tampa Bay allowed you to be relegated to a mid-tier matchup with Carolina, where the competition is much easier. When they're trotting out an aging star in Cam Newton, the only thing they're gaining are a few more sold tickets. Forget innovation. No-run CMC has turned this offense into a dead horse I need to beat into the ground. Against this pathetic unit, the Falcons' D looks like they're back to their 1977 heyday. Things are depressing in Charlotte. Cam Newton got benched. summoned back into the game when they realized his backup sucked, and then got benched again. It's a shame this is how his career dies, but the team is dying along with him. This loss reinforces it. To think I thought the Panthers were on the right track after last year. I'm sorry for the jinx, Panthers fans. We can all agree this year has been insanely fucked for the NFL. Most games like the last one we recap feel like they're on some kind of drug cocktail. It's exhausting to follow this league some weeks. The only benefit is in memes fresh out of the oven. You thought it couldn't get worse. An old friend has reemerged onto the scene. Corona-chan is back from her lengthy vacation and wreaking havoc on every sports league throughout America. The NFL has felt her wrath hard. You may have noticed all the coughing last week. It was for good reason. Over 150 cases in the league over a 5-day span. It's not Pokemon to catch. Coronavirus is running a train throughout multiple organizations. Cleveland and the Rams have over 25 players in COVID protocol. Washington has over 20. Other teams like the Bears, Texans, and Lions are getting wrecked as well. 8 teams are in enhanced COVID protocols. This is the worst case scenario we were fearing last season, and we're seeing it happen in front of our eyes. The NFLPA pleaded with the league for games to be postponed, but of course they waited until the last moment. In a shocker, the Shield cared more about game integrity than cold hard cash. The Saturday Browns and Raiders tilt has been pushed to Monday. Seahawks versus Rams and Reskins versus Eagles have been rescheduled for Tuesday. We have it again in doubleheader form, boys! Tuesday night football! Any chance we can get a Wednesday night game? For all the glorious memes? Buffalo is falling hard. Getting stymied in Tampa Bay last week has them in a state of desperation. But there is good fortune coming their way. The Panthers somehow pissed off an ancient shaman and he's found a voodoo doll. Shaking his hand with fury, he strikes at the doll's leg. Zane Gonzalez is injured in warmups. Carolina doesn't have a kicker. Unfortunately for them, Urban Meyer could not be reached in time to suit up. The Panthers are now shorthanded. In the game against the Bills, it probably didn't end up mattering, but this is the cold reality of Carolina over this year. When they don't have bad luck, they're somehow sucking the life out of themselves in unique fashion. Josh Allen, foot injury and all, looked like his old self in a game that the Bills desperately needed. Something to try and stop the bleeding. It didn't feel like this game was much of a contest, but every win is sacred with how tight the AFC is. They maintain playoff seeding with the Patriots, Falcons, and Jets remaining on the schedule. This is your shot to show us that you still have life in those dying legs of yours, Buffalo. You better not fuck it up. The Carolina Panthers. I once thought this team was on the right track on their rebuild. Oh, how innocent of a time the 2020 season was for us. We never got to see Matt Rule in his true element. One of not knowing what the hell he's doing in any facet. The dude treats quarterbacks like Mike Keenan treated goaltenders back in the day. Constantly pulled and rotated without rhyme or reason. Cam Newton's going to be starting today, but Sam Darnold's going to be getting reps. When Cam fucks up, Sam's going in. Except when Cam is sent onto the field for random running plays. Minus the times when Darnold runs them, but Newton's throwing the ball too, and I literally don't know what the fuck's going on. How did he thrive at Temple and Baylor with this kind of bullshit? The offense is so fucked that his defense, whatever's left of it, is completely broken. Tampa Bay is taking full advantage of their dysfunction. And by merely existing, they're guided to a win so easy you'd think it was a kid's game. Considering Carolina's difficulty in the basics like offensive play calling and peeing in the toilet, that's not hard to do. This reign has become a disaster quickly. I wonder if the Panthers pull the trigger on firing people this early on.
Carolina Panthers eliminated.
The fortunate thing is that New Orleans has an incredibly soft schedule to end the year. The bad part is that they still have to win these games to have any shot of securing a playoff berth. They may be facing Carolina. They may be the epitome of an ineptly run team, but New Orleans has limitations of their own. Their offense has been stuck in quicksand for most of the year. Do you know what the proper solution to that dilemma is? Facing off against an offense even shittier than yours. In the most shocking turn of events, Carolina did not switch out quarterbacks in nearly every situation. Both defenses quickly realized that the best way to win is to force the men behind center to make plays. For Taysom Hill's sake, he did enough. In another surprise, the Saints scored points on back-to-back drives. 11 unanswered points. They can score touchdowns? This is revolutionary in the post-Breeze world. And there's even more good news for New Orleans. The Panthers have to trust Sam Darnold with a final drive.
With just one timeout left. Darnold intercepted!
That ended predictably. With this win, the Saints speak 3 words. I'm alive, bitch. It'll be tough, but if they get some help, they'll sneak into the playoffs. They'll get destroyed there without a quarterback, but false hope is better than no hope, I guess. Unfortunately for Carolina, I do not have good news to share with you this week. First of all, Matt Rule will be staying put as head coach, thus continuing his self-made comparisons to Jay-Z for another year. Thank you, enormous fucking contract. Secondly, Tampa Bay still has positioning to play for, so you'll be receiving no sort of mercy whatsoever. Sam Darnold, if you're lucky, will be making his last career start for the Panthers after this debacle of a season. You know, I really thought he could turn it around after being Adam Gase with the Jets. It unfortunately was not the case due to a litany of self-inflicted errors. Plus the fact that the Buccaneers are pretty damn good and need to win for playoff seeding. Tom Brady solidifies his claim to being an immortal deity by leading the goddamn NFL in passing yards and touchdowns. I sense jealousy's brewing. I expect Carolina to get really desperate and throw everything for Deshaun Watson or something. It's the only way they can justify Matt Rule's contract. Although it's not like Tampa has their own troubles brewing. This has been a season. So many twists and turns that it's hard to conceive with the naked eye. If you were looking at this year seriously, it was absolutely exhausting. But do you know the true bounty to cherish? The memes. It was fucking gold for this economy. Thanks to incredible collapses, fantastic comebacks, Urban Meyer's coaching tenure, and whatever the fuck Antonio Brown did in the Jets game. The line between a competent rebuild and an absolute shit show is a thin one. When you see the Carolina Panthers, you can understand how perilous the balancing act is. Early in the year, easy opponents, yes, but a 3-0 start is promising enough. Sam Darnold doesn't look like complete ass. They could be something, they said. Oh, they were something. If you consider a smoldering trash fire or something, I guess. After that good start, the only thing that started was a transformation into a complete and utter mockery of what's supposed to be a football team. How do we know this? Look at what happened after Christian McCaffrey got injured for roughly the 8th time in 3 seasons. Without a great running back, Darnold regressed to a trauma that even the Jets barely saw. His offensive line was so bad that Cam Irving was the blindside blocker. Cam Irving. Even worse, Mono Man had one mode. Unable to throw a football. Somewhere Adam Gase swells in pride after being proven right about the QB he ruined. Things were so awful on offense that ownership meddled and signed the silly putty shoulder of Cam Newton to appeal to nostalgia and get more asses in seats. It was fucking depressing to see him try and throw. No, Cam, you're not back, you're done. Just like Carolina was by losing their last 7 games. They showed nothing but complete regression on all fronts. Joe Brady went from hot coaching prospect in 2020 to fired because he wouldn't run the ball? Matt Rule is being exposed as a fraud very, very quickly. 2, sometimes 3 quarterback systems? What the hell was he doing at Temple and Baylor? The only reason he's still here can be summed up in this. 5 years, $45 million. That's how much he's still owed. Tepper doesn't want to pay him a massive severance. As they deal with an anchor of a coaching contract and go hunting for another quarterback, we all sit and laugh at how they locked in Darnold's 5th-year option before the season. Even Jerry Richardson wasn't this headstrong when he owned the team.